Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, good morning, guten morgen. This is James Alexander, Kennet 10, as usual, coming to you live from our offices in southwest London, Norbury. Been working on a few letters today, just newsletters and updates and things. And the story so far this year, really, just to update you on a few statistics and bits and pieces. The first and most important thing is, yeah, I know, don't worry about the noise. It doesn't mean there's so much crime in Norbury, I promise you. That is because we're next door but one to a fire station. So we do get this a lot. And it does lead to a view that there's more crime here than there actually is, because literally the fire station is 2 doors away. We get used to it, and the guys in there are great. We respect our fire services. They're a fantastic bunch, and good luck to them with their pay claims. But on to business. So today, an important day. Why is it an important day? Because we have the MPC, that's the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of England meeting. And they meet to discuss whether or not interest rates should stay as they are, go up or go down. And guess what's going to happen today? Likelihood is interest rates are going to go up again. I know it's frustrating, it's sad, but it is frankly what it is. We're expecting this to be between 0.25 and 0.5%. It won't impact on the majority of borrowers because they're on fixed rates. But if you're not on a fixed rate, or if you're on a tracker, then it will impact your rate by 0.5 or 0.25, depending on what the announcement is. I expect it will be 0.5. This could be the last increase in rates over the period. It might be that we're at the top of that tree right now. It remains to be seen. Obviously, we'll report to you as soon as we hear it and let you know what the new rates are. And lenders will then decide whether or not they're going to increase their rates, because the rates are very much competitive these days, and they're based on swap rates, which will increase if interest rates go up. But by the same token, some feel that these rates are already discounted in the rates they're offering. In other words, they may not increase them by the full amount that the Bank of England does. But the flip side of this is, in my experience, as rates go up, lenders take this as an opportunity to actually widen that gap, which is really frustrating. In other words, really taking advantage of borrowers, and I really hate that. Really bugs me. Now, the news so far on house prices in Norbury this year. So over the past year, the Norbury prices had an average price of 540,000. Most of these were terraced houses. Many of you will know that Norbury is the area of the terraced 1930s house. We have more of those than anything else. And the average price of those was 550,000 over the past year. Flats sold for an average of 365,750, particularly those flats. The most things that sold were garden flats. And so that's the upper end for flats in this area, although there are ones that are worth more, particularly garden flats at the moment. And larger houses selling for an average of just around 800,000. Of course, there are some homes that are worth substantially more and substantially less. And if you're wondering what yours is really worth to the nth degree, then we can look at that for you. So overall, the sold prices in Norbury over the last year were up 5% on the previous year, 15% on the 2019 peak of 467,000. Now, nationally, the picture's as follows. Compared with 2021, asking prices have risen most in the West Midlands, and they're up by 11.6%. And cities in this region have seen the highest growth. And that is Wolverhampton, that's up by 14.5%. Hereford, where they're up by 14%, and Birmingham, where prices have risen by 11.4% over the past year. The East Midlands, again, all in the Midlands area there, is the region that's seen the second biggest growth in prices, and there it was 11.4%. And the best performing cities in the region are Nottingham, up by 12.4%, and Derby, Kieran, if you're watching, your area is up by 12.1%, and Leicester up by 11.1%. Rental prices. Now, this has been the real story of the past few months, and it's been a shock for so many tenants and indeed landlords. Landlords are finding their costs going up because interest rates are going up yet again. They're going to be hit today, possibly if they're on a variable or tracker rate. And it's a combination of landlords selling up and interest rate rises that have led to meteoric rises in rents. Very frustrating. Tenants are finding their options very limited. There are queues for everything that comes onto market, and stock is a real issue. Insurers that we deal with are competing with the private market to get their people with fires, floods and the like rehoused, and they're prepared to offer sometimes a premium on the current rental market, which further exacerbates supply. So what's the picture going forward? What do we anticipate for house prices going forward? Well, two things. Number one, we expect that there will be a lack of supply this year as the pressure of interest rates and affordability in families just struggling under the weight of all of the extra expense comes to the fore. We may, however, see some of those people decide that they need to get into smaller accommodation that's more affordable in terms of, particularly with the meteoric rise in fuel bills, for instance, people living in larger houses might think, well, actually, now's the time to get a flat where we can actually consolidate, reduce our bills, and have a bit more cash in the bank. So we see that happening as well. So as far as flats are concerned, there's going to be more flats available this year because more landlords are looking to sell up because of various political reasons I've discussed many times. So we're going to see quite a lot of landlords selling up. We're going to see some older people selling up the larger houses due to the affordability of bills and looking for those smaller flats, which to a degree will counter it. But I think we'll see more landlords selling than we see older people going into flats in the area. That's just a general feeling. So where do we see the market? Well, number one, houses in the middle bracket will be the most popular, and we'll be looking at 3 and 4 bedroom houses, particularly those in centre of Norbury, and those off Green Lane and Pollard's Hill will continue to be popular. The bottom end of the market with the smaller flats particular, they're the ones that will probably be impacted the most by the interest rate rises and landlords selling up. So we expect to see further supply on that side. So that's it in terms of an update for the property prices so far. Apart from that, the sun's out. It's like a sunny day out there. It's like spring has started. We're all excited. We're getting people out for viewings. And you know what it's like in the sunshine. Whenever you show a property in the sunshine, everything just feels so fantastic. And, here at JA, we always say when it's raining, because it often is, because we are in London, if you love it in the rain, you're going to like it even more in the sunshine. But when you see it in the sunshine, it really is something special. And it tends to be, people, they've decorated the hallway. They've been trapped in their house because it's so miserable and cold out. They come out, stretch their legs. Maybe they've decorated the hallway. Maybe it's time to now sell. And that's what we find in the springtime. It is traditionally the busiest time of the year for the property market. And we expect this year it will be more subdued, will be more muted for obvious reasons with everything going forward. But does that mean the housing market will fall off a cliff? Not at all. People have got equity. They've got choices largely. There are those, sadly, that will struggle. And that's always the case when the government is trying to curb inflation. First thing they have to do is increase those interest rates. We're nearly at the top of the cycle now, if not at the top of the cycle. Many economists have been predicting 4% or 4.5% as the peak of the cycle. Let's hope that this is the last interest rate rise. Certainly, we're going to get one, I'm afraid. And as I say, we'll report on it later when it happens. We think it will be 0.5%. And if you're thinking what to do about our mortgage, this is not about mortgage advice. You need to speak to a qualified advisor. Get in touch if you need help with that. But what we think is that the era of ultra cheap mortgages has gone. We think that we're nearing the top of the cycle, but does that mean we think it's going to come back down to 0.5 and 1 and 1.5%? Not anytime soon, or perhaps not even in our lifetime. So the era of cheap money is gone. You need to consider that if you're looking at what to do going forwards with your mortgage and your situation. So as always, thanks for watching. If you need any help with your house move, we're here for you. Give us a call, 0208 679 8601. Drop me an email. Always pleased to hear from you, ken@jamesalexander.com. And if you've got property to sell, call me. Let's get in the door and give you some free, no obligation advice. Ciao.